All right, guys. Let's get it started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the first ever live and direct episode of Everyday Stories by Adetunde Dada. My name, is Adetunde Dada. Now, today, we have a very, very special guest. Like this. Hold up. She is a singer. She's a songwriter. She's a pianist. I'm not done. She's a fashion designer. She's a film composer. Hey, see, to her close friends, they know her as K, just K. But to us and the rest of the world, we know her as Kaliné. She's an amazing alternative Afro singer and songwriter who has opened up for Grammy Award winning artists like Chaka Khan. Hey, heavy something. Now, she has also opened up for our very own president, Muhammadu Buhari. So, Kalani, if you are here, please request to join this live. Hey!
Hi!
How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. How's quarantine?
I just had breakfast with my husband, so I had to rush and get here in time. So.
No problem. You have a well, sure. So this is the first live episode of Everyday Stories, right? And so even though this is the live episode, I already have an intro. It's like this. Or not even intro question. It's like this. So for the 2 or 3 people, in the back that do not know who you are, please introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Kaliné. I am a singer, songwriter, film composer, pianist, and I've been doing music all my life. I started playing the piano when I was 5 years old, classically trained. So music has been just embedded in, my life. And my kind of genre is Afro soul fusion, I'd like to say. But it cuts across so many different sounds. Based in Nigeria, trying to make things happen, trying to get to the big time. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, like this, question. So, I know when you were younger, at some point, you wanted to be an athlete, and then at another point, you wanted to be an architect. And then at another point, you wanted to be an interior designer. So, how did pursuing music enter the equation?
I think I was always doing music. It was just kind of not I wouldn't say natural, but I was just, every school I went to, I would be involved in taking music classes or whatever. So it was just something that was just a part of me. So when I had other hobbies that I was really good at, athletics, interior design as well, it was just something that, I've come to know now that is within the family. Like one of my aunties is an interior designer, and I'm a supporter. So music then became I should take this as a career after my first degree. Before my first degree, my teachers were well, obviously you should go and study music. And my Nigerian parents were what is music? How is that something to go and study? So they were they begged my parents, no, we've been training her to be a musician all this time, in high school. So that's the next step for her. And they're no, she has to go to business school. So I think at that point for me, I realized, these people actually believe in me this much to want to become a musician. And that's when I started taking it seriously. So through those 3 years of being in business school, all that point I was thinking about, okay, how do I make this a career? And then I went to music school after that, and then from there. So yeah, so athletics and interior design, it was like a moment in time.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And the thing is that, think about a music career, right? One thing I know for sure that it is not easy work. Not easy. Not easy.
Like what
at all.
an equation.
And so, question. So, during your years of teaching piano to little kids, I know, playing shows in dive bars, restaurants, babysitting in New York City, what's the one thing you enjoyed the most about that whole experience?
That's a very good question. I think the one thing that I enjoyed the most was being in New York, and I know that sounds so vague, but just the opportunity to be in a place like New York for the period that I was in, trying to do what I was trying to do, which is pursue music. It's something that I can never get back. While I was there was a statistic going around that between 40 and 60% of people in the world dream of living in New York. Dream of living in New York. 46% of the entire population of the world. So it's a special place, and to have had the opportunity to actually just live there, have my own apartment there, and just try to make it as a musician in New York. That's not something that everybody says, and just the experiences of making friends there, making some amazing lifelong friends, and doing gigs there, meeting musicians there, meeting different band members that came through with me in my life while I was there. And being a New Yorker, yeah.
Understand. So, in general, you enjoyed the experience.
Yeah. Oh, I miss it so much. Yes.
Definitely. Now let's talk about an experience on the opposite end, right? Let's talk about an experience that you definitely didn't enjoy, that you may have found a bit weird, Yeah. And so,
or just in general, being in New York.
Just in general. And so, back, let's go back in the past. Back in 2014, a long time ago, your manicurist, was stalking you. I believe this was in New York. And so I want to know, how did you find out about that?
That's so funny. That is so funny. How did I find out about that? I think I was walking in the street, and then she runs out, says to me that she saw a picture of me. Is that the story you're thinking about?
I think so. I think she was trying to get a closer look of your hair so she could show her daughter. So she stalked you.
Yeah, saw me walking across the street on the zigzag, and she ran after me and was like, "Oh my God, this is you. I took a picture of you a few days ago, whatever, and this is you. I've been wanting to know." Yeah, that was it. That was weird, but that was not. Those are not weird moments, in comparison to the experience. Yeah.
So, what would you consider a weird, or what's one weird moment that happened that maybe we don't know about?
Should I tell you? Should I tell you and your followers? But this wasn't. I think the weirdest thing that happened to me was actually in Boston. So I'll share this. I was in Berkeley College of Music, music college. I was living. My first semester was with. I had to live in halls. I had a roommate, and she never ate. She never showered. She never did anything. And there was a day I was just chilling, listening to music, and she, how you have your peripherals and you can sort of you're focusing on you, but you can see things on either side.
Yeah.
And I just saw her fall and faint. and I was literally like turned around and she was like on the floor and I was like going nuts. I tried to wake her up and then I called people to come into the room and like everyone was just like so surprised. And then she came to, but they'd already called the ambulance. So like the ambulance came in. This whole I'm saying this because this is like a Black Lives Matter thing. At the time, Nigerians, we don't really when we go to spaces like America, we don't think about Black Lives Matter too much. We're not really thinking, oh, this is a racist moment or whatever. So I didn't really think of it like that. But like in hindsight, like I was being profiled. When the ambulance came in, they thought that I had hit her or like I had done something strange to her. So that was like talking about weird. They like questioned me. They were asking me like so many different strange things, and in the end, she had to defend me and be like, "You don't know, like guys, like she didn't do anything. Like I fainted myself. I haven't been eating. Like I'm anorexic or whatever." So yeah, so tangent, but that's weird. If you want it weird, that's weird.
Yeah, that is definitely weird. And so when you saw her faint, what was your first thought? Like, what was the first thought? Like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So I was.
Then, oh my God, I'm the only one in the room. Like, what happened? Like, how do I help her? Kind of thing. So I initially went to her and then I had to run out and call people and then she came too. So, I mean, I was like, did she die? Did she, like, what the hell, So,
yeah. Awesome. And so after you enjoyed New York, enjoyed Boston, enjoyed people fainting, accusing you for random things, you finally said, I'm moving back to Lagos, Nigeria. Let me get out of here. And so when you moved back to Nigeria, did you have gigs and shows waiting for you? Or was it just more of like, let me get out of here?
No, it was a mixture of things. I realized that New York, things weren't really going anywhere, like in the way that I wanted it to. I mean, in my mind now, that doesn't make sense. But in my mind, time was running out. But time doesn't run out for. So I thought to myself, I had already established like a name for myself in Nigeria. I had been building one ever since I left to go to school in England before America. So I knew that there was a space for me, not necessarily waiting, but I knew that it won't be like the industry would be like, oh, who is this person? Like she's brand new kind of thing. I'd already had singles, videos I'd put out here. So it was a natural transition. I just got to a point where, nah, this isn't working. I'm spending too much money. I'm not getting much money back, So with the teaching and everything, I was on a special visa that I could only like do music related work. Can you imagine that? After having like a business degree, like I could only do music related work. So that was difficult. And I wasn't making enough money to like make rent and stuff. So I just said, yeah, there's no point. Come back and see what the space is like. I toyed with the idea of moving to London as well, but Nigeria ended up being.
What was the main thing that, you had London, you had Nigeria, right? So what was the main thing that made you come back on Motherland?
Home, it being home, where my family was, and the fact that I had a name here already. So I wasn't like coming back from scratch, Yeah.
And so once you came back to Nigeria, I believe like fast forward just a bit, small. And next thing you know, you're opening up for 10-time Grammy Award winning artist, Chaka Khan. right. And so on that day, right? On that day, I know you were ready, right? Mm-hmm. But your microphone stand that day was like, no, I'm going to try to mess the whole thing up. And so, question: what exactly happened during that performance?
Oh my God. I should ask you what happened. Because I know there's something about a stand, but I can't. I should like, impressed. I'm so impressed. Like, do I have short-term memory? I think I might.
If I can remember, your microphone stand, I think you were playing piano, and it just kept going kept drooping, kept going down. And
Yes.
so I was like, I wanted to know, like what, like how,
So
like what was going through your mind? You're like,
yeah,
oh my goodness.
I mean, it happened to me several times before that, and it has happened several times since. Like that's just a thing,
Yeah.
you know. If you're not
Yeah.
like down or bring your own microphone stand that you're used to, things like that go wrong. So I had to call my background vocalist, or I think maybe I didn't have to call him. He probably already knew, so he just saw it drooping, and I was struggling or whatever to like down and play. So he like rushed to the rescue, and like I think he either held it up for like a duration of a time, or he just like propped it back up to where it should be. Yeah. But yeah, those things happen. You just have to, the show always goes on either way. Like sometimes I've had to be like, guys, just give me a second. In the middle of the song, I'll be like, just give me a second. I'll be playing with my left hand or whatever, and like trying to like fix it on this. Yeah.
And so when you face obstacle while performing, do you have like a protocol, or do you just like, I'm gonna get past this? Like,
there's no at all. Like it's things happen in different ways, you know, and situations. So you just have to know that. Okay, well, the one thing I would say, because you know that the show must always go on, it's better if you engage the audience and just make them part of the situation. So if your mic is not working, like there have been times where my mic has stopped working and I'm just like, guys, just give me 1 second, or I'll be like, you know what, you guys, why don't you sing to me or something? Just involve them in that process. While if you can't go off stage, you know, then be on stage and be present. Don't make them bored. Don't lose sight of the fact that their eyes are all on you and everything. So yeah, that's important. That'll be the one thing. You just have to think on your feet and be creative.
Yeah. And so staying on the thinking on your feet, right? Thinking on your feet. There was another performance, right, that you really had to, I don't know if you had to think on your feet, but there was definitely an unexpected obstacle, right? And this was, I believe, July 21st, 2015. Your performance of the national anthem for our very own Muhammadu Buhari. You know, I think when Obama invited him at I have the name of the meeting, but it's going on my head. but I know you were ready for that, right? And like, I have so many questions. One question: how did that happen? Does someone on Buhari's team just call you, come on, perform for me? Like, how's that happen? You know?
So I had an auntie by the name of Mo Abudu, superstar Mo Abudu. Her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, auntie. She has been instrumental in like my progress as an artist, even like transition, especially from New York to Nigeria. So she was involved in that event. Like she was, I think it was Ebony Life that was actually bringing. No, they had an event for him. So she was just like, well, Kaliné is in New York. Why don't we fly her to, it was DC. Yeah, fly her to DC and let's make this happen. She should sing the national anthem. So that's literally how it happened. Like, I think it was just fortunate that I was like on her radar and her team knew me. They could trust that I would, you know, do a good job and everything. And I'd sung national anthems like through them before. So I guess they knew what to expect. They knew how I would perform people and all that. So yeah. That's how it was.
So so Ebony Life hooked you up. They came up with the hookup. You know, because they were like, they could call anybody, but like, let's call Kaliné. I know she will kill this thing. You know? And so, I mean, that's all great, but you know, unfortunately, you had to play at the back of the hall, you know, the back of the hall, right? And so, and so I know you were having a long day, you know, having a very interesting day. And so I have a question. For everyone, you know, everyone else that has not performed for the president before, can you give us some behind the scenes info of what you did to prepare for that day?
For that day. So I was like, when I got the call, I was freaking out. What am I going to wear? Sorry, that's just how women, that's how we think. We're just like, as long as I look good, that's the first thing. So I remember like traipsing the streets of New York. I think I had like a day or two. They didn't give me much notice. So I had to like figure out what I was going to wear with just limited resources, funds, or whatever. I had to figure out who's going to video this for me. Am I going to be able to pay them enough to come with me? So I had this friend who I just hired as like an assistant to just help with everything. And then national anthems, I've been doing that for a decade already. Like literally, I've been singing. At that point, I had sung it several times, so I wasn't worried about like my rendition. I just had to just practice, maybe to change a few things here and there, make sure that I got the words right, because I had to sing both stanzas. So yeah, so those were the things, and then lastly, I think I brought my keyboard. Actually, I brought my keyboard from London, from New York. So that was like just also tricky, just having to carry that around with my stand, and I think I brought my mic. I brought everything. I think, yeah. So all they were going to do was just plug me in and I'll perform. So yeah, so that's what I think there's one thing that you wouldn't know, which I'm happy about. I missed my train.
Oh,
I
wow.
missed my train. Like from one connection to the other, I missed my train, and so my assistant, she had to go without me, make sure the hotel room was okay and everything, and then she like managed to get me like the next train, because I think it was to do with my keyboard. Like I couldn't get an Uber, and no one would take me with the keyboard, or the cars weren't big enough or whatever. Yeah, so that happened. Can you imagine? Like, but that was the day before. Luckily, it wasn't like, was it? Yeah, it was the day before, so it was fine.
And so
Yeah.
when you missed the train, right? Were you like, this day is going great, you know? and, and so when you missed the train, right? Were you still carrying your piano? Because I know you carry your piano around everywhere. And
Yes.
so I know you have like you carry it in style. You have you have a bag. You have it. You just go. and so and so staying on that fact, right? Question. Are you still self-managed?
Semi, because I have help of my husband now. So he's like an amazing support. Yeah. I don't It's funny how people say like, oh yeah, I have a husband or a boyfriend like just end up falling into that role. And it's so true, especially if you have someone like my husband who actually is really, really interested in the music business. He has been in the music business for a while as well. So he just wants to just make it better, make life easier for me, until we find a proper team that actually gets the vision. Because it's not like there are no managers. It's just people who just connect with what I'm trying to do. So yeah, semi self-managed, and my husband helps.
Okay, so you're semi self-managed. So you semi have to be the accountant sometimes. You semi have to be creative director. You semi have to be the stylist, right? And so, question. As a self-managed artist or semi self-managed artist, right? How did you pull off a show under Falomo Bridge in Lagos?
Woo! What a time! What a time! So I thought the idea, and I said I was going to do it. I had already had a Just Kaliné concert series for about a year and a half at that point. So it was uh, it was something that had to do with doing interesting live experiences in interesting locations. So when Wale Alakija painted, the columns at Falamo Bridge, they had a special area where people could start doing events and everything. So I was just like, perfect. Like, I really want to do something here. So I got the band together. Everyone was excited. So for big shows like that, I have to hire specific like team members, like specific people to fill certain roles. So I create a team per show because no one is like on a salary on month to month basis. So for a show like a Kaliné live show experience, you need like wardrobe department, you need choreographer, you need of course the band leader who's the music director is always there. You need the lighting technician, you need the stage and set design. So set design was kind of me, but I had to have somebody build the stage. I had to get a lighting person. I had two changes and my dancers had two changes, so I needed a costume person. My tailor was on standby. Um, Sound, oh my God, sound. Major, major, major number one thing because it was an outdoor space. There are cars going back and forth, so we needed it to be loud enough to like get people interested. We needed it to be lit up in an interesting way so that people who were passing by might want to turn around and come to the show. And then you wanted to create like a buzz, like because in that area as well, you have people who are just getting off work, or you have bus conductors or Okada drivers or whatever who just can stop and just come and watch. And so we wanted that as well to give it that like a huddle effect of like what could be going on here, but we also had to have security because my target audience as well, they felt better knowing that Lagos State was providing security for us, so we got Lagos State involved in giving us security. So it was like a lot of like loose ends that had to be tied. Power was a major, major thing. So at about 30 minutes to the show, the generator packed up. So my team had to start looking for, what to do. Yeah, they didn't tell me this until after the show. Yeah, hilarious. Not that was a thing. Jameson sponsored, so that we needed a sponsor so we could like provide drinks for people, just keep them at ease. And then I had supporting acts. So for my shows, I usually like to like create a platform to promote people, other musicians. So I had for that show, I had two musicians, Caveman and another amazing guitarist whose name I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, so yeah, it's all so many elements, and I just had to hire people that could fit the roles or to head different departments to make everything happen as smoothly as possible.
And so after the show, when they told you the generator, it went off, what was your reaction?
I was like, well, kudos to you guys for not telling me before the show. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
And so if it happened during the show, would you have kept going? Would you have just like, you know what, I'm going home?
I'd have had to have kept going. Actually, you know what? I lie. My husband is going to like say you're actually not even saying how bad it was. I think what actually happened was the generator packed up and they had been trying to get a gen the whole time and they couldn't and they didn't tell me, and I went on to perform with NEPA. And NEPA did not take it throughout the entire time. So yeah, so when they did tell me, I'm just like, thank God you guys didn't tell me, because I'm not sure whether I would have performed, because I wouldn't want it to now be a situation where it goes off and we're trying to figure out there's no other solution at that point. You're in the middle of Falamo, So yeah, it's a tough question. I don't know whether I would have continued.
Definitely. And so a big part of your performances, are your dancers, you choreographed, I've seen videos of you performing, like all the rehearsals. I mean, like, and so like this, you're the name of your band, right? Is the Craftsmen, I believe, right?
Yes.
And so question, do your dancers have a group name?
They don't actually. That's so true. You're right. I just call them Kaliné dancers, but you're right. They should have a name. We'll think about that.
Definitely. And so, I guess with the dance groups, right? Staying on that same topic of a dance group, you in the past, you were in a Spice Girl dance group back in the day, right?
God.
Where I'm assuming you were Mel B. I'm taking.
Posh, actually.
Oh, you got it. Don't. And so, question. When and how did that happen?
That was primary school. I can't remember how old I was. And I was like really, really popular in primary school. Like I was doing everything, acting, singing, dancing, athletics. Like I was like, I wouldn't say popular, but I was good at everything and people liked me. So I was number one in 100 meters relay, in long jump. Like I was just like the person that was getting all the awards. So that when it came to like dancing and like fun day, I was like, yeah, let's just put a group together. Like I had like all my girls and we put this Spice Girl group together. We'd already been singing and performing their songs in like our bedrooms. We would have slumber parties and we'd perform, their songs anyway with our, hairbrushes and whatever. So it was just a natural thing to just like bring it out into the world. So my mom was like so hands-on like with us as like a mother. Like she would get us costumes for everything. She would just be on top of it. Like so she immediately hired like a Posh Spice costume for me, and that's how it happened. And I remember the day so clearly. Like my school, St. Xavier's School in Ikoyi, which still exists, like it has a landing before you go into like the playground area, like you take steps down. So we were on this landing area and the DJ just started playing the music and people didn't really know that something was about to happen. We just started performing and then like just the crowds just gathered and we're flexing and like doing all sorts of things. It was so fun.
Definitely. And now, as you've matured as a person, as you've grown, will you ever start another dance group? I mean, like a proper dance group, not with your current dancers. Or maybe get the crew back. Reunite.
I don't think so. Well, never say never. But no.
Never say never. Awesome. So I have a very, very random question. It's very, very random. It's out there, right? Like this, right?
Oh my God. Yes. You say that my friend is on here, and yeah, so Tokumbo, but she's now known as Shakira, and she was like, "I was Ginger Spice." Like beautiful memories. Yeah,
awesome.
girl.
I mean, so you guys are here, so you might as well reunite, bring it back. The fans are waiting. But for sure, random question. It's like this. Which one of these do you love the most, right? You can only choose one, right? Option one, we have some hot, puff, puff. Option two, we have some fresh off the fire, suya. Which of these two do you love the most? One, the other can stay.
It's a really tough question, man. You put me on the spot. Puff, puff. Puff, puff.
You choose
now,
puff.
Right moment. It's 12, it's midday. It's 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Like, yeah.
No, I mean in general.
In general?
Maybe,
in general, suya. I have suya like every 3 days. Yeah. Or less.
No, wow. Awesome. And so, staying on the topic of suya, you even have a song called Mr. Suya.
Yes, I do.
Now, I have a question regarding that, right? Did you write that song before or after you realized your old suya man was overcharging you? Because I know at some point, some other Suya man was overcharging you, you know. Trust me, I live here in Nigeria. I understand, you know. so, so was that song written before or after that experience?
It was written before, because if it was written after, like, it would have definitely been in the song. Hell yeah! And, like, told made everybody that this is how much Shia should cost.
Awesome. And so
Danny saying, like, yeah, that was an easy question. No, because he asked me. I thought you asked me, like, right now, like, you know, Puff Puff.
No.
So on
Not
point.
right now.
But any, like, general, yes, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that I knew about the Suya Man song, so I was trying to set you up and for you to say Suya.
You up.
Got me. You know. But I think that so you've changed you've obviously since COVID, you've changed the Just Kalani concerts to the Just Kaliné session covers. Right? Now, how often do you do? I think you do them every week, right? Have you been consistent?
I have. Yes. So I have, like, so for example, this week I released Ole by Tiwa Savage last week. Tiwa Savage featuring Mali. And I was supposed to release one this week, and it's ready to go. And in fact, I'll give you a little exclusive because I like this interview. It's championed by Fireboy. Anyone who's listening is the next cover. But I'm seeing so much buzz with the Tiwa Savage one that I kind of want to just keep it a little until I release the next one. So yeah, so that's the reason why. Otherwise, I would have had it out since Thursday. So
I think the Tiwa Savage one is about to hit like 20,000 views.
Yo, like, and you should see the amount of saves as well on different platforms. So I'm just hoping that it gets to her. Like, you know, people have started tagging her a lot more. So yeah, this one is a special one. So I'm just giving it a little bit of time, and then I'll drop the next one. But yes, 10 weeks. So, it'll be 9 weeks next week.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. So you've been super consistent, right?
Me too. Yeah.
You know, and there's one thing I wish you were more consistent on. You know, there's a blog out there, you know, called Dear Musician. You know, or a musician in Lagos. You know, some very key.
Why are you doing this to me?
Well, you know, 2017. I don't know. It's been a while. So when are you bringing that back?
You know, this journey, like, it's been amazing. Like, at the time of Dear Musician and a musician in Lagos, like, I just really had this dream to want to help other musicians and Nigerian musicians in the diaspora just navigate the music industry and stuff like that. But the reason why it stopped at that time was because I didn't really I didn't have the capacity, like, to do what I wanted to do in terms of telling them about the different venues and the different studios and how much they charge, what facilities they have. Like, that was, like, my real dream. And then also I wasn't as tech savvy in a way as I guess I am now, where I want, you know, understanding the analytics aspect of this. I'm sure you seem more techie. Like, you seem like a geeky, nerdy type. Is it true?
My life.
Word out and everything. I wasn't as good at that as I am now. But now I'm really more interested in appealing to still musicians, but just not. I don't think that it's. I don't know that there would have been growth there. I'm not sure that the need or there was value there. So I'm kind of just trying to figure out what the next thing is. I do want to, like, continue my vlog. I have a vlog. Do you know that I have a vlog?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I want to just be as whatever I start, I don't want to, like, stop. I want to just continue, and I want to know that there's really value being given. So that's the reason.
No, the thing is because I went through it, and, like, there's some solid information about, like, you know, clients, right? Do you even
Yes.
have one title that I really liked? It was like a good performance does not guarantee applause.
Yeah.
Something in the lines of that. I was like,
Yes.
okay, wow. And I read through the whole article. The people in New York were out here giving you stress,
Yeah.
and so, but you got past that and came back
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
And so let's talk about your latest single. I've literally been jamming to this thing like last couple of days or weeks. Quarantine with
Yeah.
Ladipo, right? Now,
Oh, yeah.
you've known Ladipo for a while, right? You've known him for how many years now?
Um. Bogobiri days. I'd say maybe 10, 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you meet him? Because I know, like, I saw maybe like in the past, you guys were in a Afropolitan magazine. It was him, and then it was you, and so and so. How did you guys meet?
We met at Bogobiri. Like,
Okay.
I mean, our family went to school. Like, our parents went to school together, but we weren't really close growing up. But um, we, yeah, Bogobiri, like with the days of like Taruwa and open mic nights and everything, when I was trying to just like make a name for myself, I was still like abroad, but I was coming back often to do things like that. And I would remember, like, he would do an open mic and I would run after him and be like, yo, that was so dope. And then I would do the same and I'll be leaving and he'll come after me and be like, yeah, we should work together, work together. No, neither of us, like, he wasn't signed, at the time, of course, and I wasn't even sure what I was doing, like, with my genre. So it was almost, I was like testing it out. I was testing my genre out to an audience to see whether it would work. I was still at Berkeley, so I was starting to play and sing at the same time, trying to make it like really cool and groovy and like interesting to watch. And also just see like what the crowd would how it would resonate with them. So yeah, those were like the days when I would see Ladipo like a lot more, and I'm so happy that finally we were able to do something together because he's like incredible. Yeah.
Definitely is. Now, keeping it on the same topic of like collaborations, right? You've collabed with, she's a different type of artist, right? I've Polly Alakicha, I believe
Yeah.
that's her name. Yes. Like she paints cars. One time
Yeah.
you were singing while she was painting a Beatle, like the Beatle sessions.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. um, and so you even have like a piano, I believe, like in your house that she use you as inspiration, right?
Yes.
And so how, like, were you just there when she painted it? I could say, and then
I actually was. In fact, I should show that footage. I would go there like over like a period of 3 or 4 days. I would just pop in, and she'll just be there like painting away because she had my drawings of my hands. She knew that I liked frangipani flowers. She had the drawing of like profile of my face. So I would go and just see like how it was getting along, and one day hoping that I would like be able to buy it from her, and then she just delivers it as our wedding present. So that was amazing. Yeah.
and so do you guys ever plan to collab again in the future?
We haven't talked about it, but I'm sure it's in the works. I'm sure she
Mm-hmm.
always has cool ideas. Even Salomon Bridge, like in a way, it was like a collaboration because like that is such a special place, and that resonates with her. Like she painted the columns and everything. She brought that place to life. So in a way, that was also like a kind of partnership, and I think she was there for a bit for the show. But yeah, she always has such incredible ideas that she's working on, and I'm sure that there'll be a way to plug in again at some point. Yeah.
Definitely. And so, question. Let's move to place, right?
Okay.
Does what does Balogun market? What does that mean to your career? Because I know you're going there all the time. You have your tailor, Fumi. You know, doing your thing. And so, what's that place mean to your career?
It means humble beginnings is what I would call it. If I was to write an article about Balogun Market. That would be what it would be called. And I love that place. Like, the thing is, I hope that when I actually do become famous and like I can't, you know how Beyonce says like, they just can't go anywhere. People have to follow them, get mobbed. So when that happens, right? I I hope that I'll still be able to go to Balogun Market. Like, I feel very strongly about that. I really do. I want to be good. I want to go to, like, those like dark, very, very narrow streets where can't even, you have to wait for one person to come before you can go, where they sell all the accessories, like for all the beads and all the fringes and everything. Oh, just thinking about it now, like it means so much to me. And I went there way before I started like designing costumes. Like I would go there with my cook, my parents cook, and we would just go just looking around because I just really liked. I'm a cheapskate, so I love buying cheap clothes. Like that's just my thing. Like even in I would go to like thrift stores because I like finding unique things else has, but that is like also very, very low in price. So I would always like look for things there. And they had really cool things. So after that, I started going to like more of the costume, the fabric section, learning more about fabrics, learning more about the accessories, learning more about how to put different fabrics together, what works well for stage, what works well under the lights, and just having that opportunity to now go with my tailor and, you know, have those conversations with the people and speak to them about, okay, this is too heavy. Maybe I need to do this. Will this like move well with the choreography? Will this not? Like touching the fabrics, making sure that it was what I wanted. Yeah, so much went into it, and like I can only wait to like go back again, like very, very soon when, I guess it's safer with COVID. Um and yeah, have those experiences. So.
And so when you were in the market, how was like your pricing? Like, can you take down the price easy? Well, then,
Initially, I was being like robbed in daylight for sure. I'm sure people were charging me something for 20,000 that was probably three. But now you can't cheat me. Like you just cannot. Like I know it too well. I know it too well. So
you should make a
it's
song about that.
I should. I should. Yeah, I will. I will.
Should.
Maybe I will. Beginnings.
Sure. And so your tailor, right? She's been with you for a while, I believe. And she makes like almost all of the outfits that you go on stage with, right? Have you ever had like maybe like where maybe the material is maybe too hot because of the lights? Maybe your dress. Has that ever happened before?
Definitely, yes. There was a time. Actually, this wasn't something she made. It was made by another designer, an Astro K like suit, like suit. And I was performing at Jazz Hall. And if you know Jazz Hall, it's like very, very confined. It's very intimate space. And I don't know, maybe it was just too many people in the space, so the ACs weren't really working well enough. And I was like drenched. I mean, literally, like to the point where people were asking me if I was okay. Like at the end of the show, I remember Bez came up to me and was just like, "Are you not hot?" It was too funny. Like, yeah, it was really, really. All my band members, I think they're probably wearing white shirts. At the time, we were going for more like James Brown tailored, you know, white shirt, black suspenders, all the band members kind of look. So you could see like all the sweat patches and everything, like, yeah, and all the pictures. It was crazy. But that was one
So
experience.
you can see the sweat patches in the pictures.
Yes, that's how bad it was.
Oh, wow. Okay, sure. And so, last but not least, right? At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, right? What do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy. I want people to remember me for being that artist who was authentic, who carried the world along with her journey, who learned lessons along the way about just how to just be human and how to win in life, and carry everybody along through music. I want to be able to inspire other creators to know that you can actually just do like what resonates like with you. Yes, you have to involve a wider audience. You have to understand what people want, but if there's something that has been placed in your heart, in a special, like, don't lose sight of it, and really, really stay true to it, and never lower your standards, no matter what environment you're in. Create your own environment. You have to, and I really mean that. Create your own ecosystem if you have to. If you're in an environment that is not conducive for what you're trying to do. Remember that you have to. Okay, this is me giving advice. Okay, but you asked my legacy. Legacy. I just want to be remembered for being extremely excellent at what I do, and make the world better through it, through the things, through music primarily. Yeah.
Awesome. Make the world better through music primarily. Awesome. So, yes, we have come to the conclusion of this interview. Oh, so thank you so much for coming on.
This is the best interview I've actually ever had. I'm actually being so serious.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
The questions, and I really liked the research. Like, you reminded me of things that I've totally like forgotten about. That just when you're going through life, you forget things that made the difference. Your come up. So yeah, I really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. I think I saw a comment. I think someone wanted to ask you a question. And so before we go off, if you have a question, please ask them now.
Please do.
Please do. Please do. If you have a question, do you go live often?
I actually don't. I really should do it more. Okay. Chef Odidi asked, how about coming to our event this year? It's called Abuja Jazz and Fashion. I would love to just like send me more info, and we'll make that happen. Would you like to come to? Okay, he's asking again. Yes, yeah. So I would love to. Please let me know more details.
And so, when the last time you were in Abuja?
Very recently, about a month ago.
Yeah. Were you just here to record? Because I know you've recorded it here before.
Yes, I've recorded with that. Do you know Ata Otiba?
What? His name sounds so familiar.
He's a producer to the stars. Like, if I may, like, he's incredible. He's done work with Seth, with Lindsay Abude, with Rubunu, with Jeremiah Gang, I believe. Yeah, he's done stuff with quite a few people. So I just like his sound, and so he's based there. So I've come, but the last time I came, what did I come for again? Okay, just some meeting.
Sure. And the thing is that I have to bring it up again because I literally do listen to it every day. Quarantine. And so that song is like something else. And so you should definitely like run some ads on YouTube with that song or something.
Trying to like push it more. Like, it's finally getting like really good themes on Spotify, but I will push it more. We're still working on a video, so stay tuned. Definitely. Yeah.
And even the candles in the beginning, like, is that like stock footage, or did you literally light candles and film it?
For the lyrics, a bit of both. I have some merch like that I'm still yet to like actually put out, but this one, I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I lit some of them, and then some is like stock footage as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have the question here.
Yes, I have a question and suggestion. You already talked about the suggestion, which is for one to create one's design. What would add to that? What I would add to that is for one to apply oneself to the society. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like you can't just be, a one woman or man show and not take into consideration like the environment and like who you're speaking to, because we live in a world with people. So you do have to pay attention to that, and be involved, about applying oneself to one society, resonate with the society where one is. Yes, definitely. I agree, and I had to learn the hard way. Like you can't just be a silo, like doing your own thing. If you're doing music for yourself, then that's fine. But if you're trying to do it for the world, then you have to know what people want. You have to understand the spaces that you're in, and in as much as you want to do your own kind of style, if you make that pure, then collaborate with other people and try and mix your sound or whatever. So yeah.
Definitely. All right, like I said, thank you so much for coming on. We have like 30 seconds left, so I'm like, so guys, if you haven't already, download, stream, quarantine. You have to, please. And so, like I said, so my name is Tunde. She's Kalani. And thank you for tuning in to this live episode. First ever live episode of Everyday Stories. I'm definitely going to keep doing this. And so, awesome. Thank you again. And I guess we'll talk later.
Yes, we will. Bye.
Bye.